what's up folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning everybody, I'm Pedro Ruiz, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics and other things to make inspirational projects. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. We're hanging out in the Discord chat room. If anyone would like to join us during the show, comments, shout outs, questions can all be done through the Discord chat room. Good morning everybody in the Discord chat room. Thank you so much for joining us today.
That is over on discord.gg/Adafruit. We're also hanging out in the Facebook chat, on the YouTube chat, as well as LinkedIn, Periscope. Did I already say Twitch?
You can say it again.
And Twitch.
Twitch.
Good morning everybody. Thank you all for hanging around all over the world. Giving out shout outs to all of the usuals hanging out. Mr. Certainly Bruce,
hello.
Susan DeWester, Yanni, Jim Hendrickson, Rosin, Gary Z, Gabe Colin, Cody.
Liz Split City, she's here too.
Oh, hey Liz.
Yep, in the top there. So hello everybody. Again, we're hanging out in the live broadcast chat room, and the link to get invited is discord.gg/Adafruit. Thank you everybody for joining us. We're gonna run through the housekeeping stuff. So let's jump into the freebies. So if you head on over to adafruit.com/free, you can see all the deals that are still going on. We appreciate all of your orders, and we have some really good deals going on. For orders that are $99 or more, you'll get a free Permaproto half-size breadboard. For orders that are $149, you get the free Permaproto half-size breadboard, but also a free Stemma QT breakout board. If you have an account and if you're registered with Adafruit, we'll make sure you don't get the same breakout twice. But we're not done. For orders that are $200 or more, you get a Stemma QT breakout, randomly selected, the Permaproto half-size breadboard, and free ground shipping for US continental only. And then that's the last tier. For orders that are $299 or more, you get the free shipping, you get the free Stemma QT breakout, half-size Permaproto, and a Circuit Playground Express, which we have tons and tons of awesome projects with the Circuit Playground Express. All right, so those are the freebies that are going on. Continuing on, every Monday, mostly on Mondays, is the Circuit Python meeting that happens on the Discord server, so you can hang out with the with the Circuit Python folks, listen into what's going on with the core devs and the community. That's every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Help wanted, jobs.adafruit.com. You can check that out if you are looking for a new gig, or if you're an employer looking for some maker folks with some maker skills, check out jobs.adafruit.com. The latest one we have right now is from Circuit Dojo, and it's a job listing for a sheet metal enclosure CAD work, which sounds really fun. So check that out. That's the Help Wanted, and it's free to create a profile, whether you're a maker or an employer, or someone that wants somebody to build you something. It's all good there. Newsletters, once a week, there's a newsletter that's called the new newsletter. It's you can check that one out at adafruit.com/newsletter. And that one's focused on the products that happen once a week. We'll hear tonight some new products for sure. And then for everyday stuff, adafruitdaily.com is where we want to check it out. You see all the different tiers that are categories that are available, such as Python on hardware, IoT monthly, 3D printing, biohacker, maker business, and more. How's that? I think we're good. So that's the housekeeping. We're back here. Thanks for hanging in there.
All right.
You good?
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's project.
All right. This week we're gonna kind of quickly look at what's cooking right now. What's in moderation mode is this week's project. It's the FunHouse Fume Extractor. This is a collab project with Liz Clark. Everybody say hey to Liz. This is her idea, her code, and what we did was made a 3D printed enclosure for all of the different parts. It's a really fun DIY fume extractor that can connect over the Wi-Fi, so you can log sensor data. It's a very cool one. We're hoping to have this released sometime this week. Give us a little bit of time to get it moderated and reviewed by the higher ups. Excellent. So yeah, we got it here. And one of the things I wanted to kind of highlight and talk about was some of the techniques to make this grill. So I didn't actually draw this mesh here. So I came up with, I didn't come up with this method, but there's a really cool method that you could use in your slicer to create mesh geometry so you don't have to draw it in your CAD software. And is my audio bad again?
No. I'm
Okay,
not
I heard
laughing
you
at
laughing at the jokes.
no, laughing at Liz's jokes. I think there will be a fan of this one. You guys will be a fan of this one.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, I wanted to share how you can create, some of the techniques you can use to create some mesh geometry for creating something like a fan grill, or really anything that needs a type of patterns. Take a look at the iPhone case. This is this week's kind of theme, is patterns and how to generate them manually or automatically. So let's jump into what we got. So sit there.
Cue the lawnmowers.
Yeah, right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is your slicing software. In this case, I'm using CURA, which is a free piece of software. It's open source. You can download it, and it has a lot of different profiles. One of the cool things you can do with CURA, so you can turn off the solid top and bottom layers. So when you bring in the STL for you'll notice that there's actually no geometry here other than those mounting holes. When you turn off your top and bottom layers in your slicer, what will show through is just the infill. What's cool about this is you have control over the infill pattern, and more importantly, the infill density. So you can play around with these different patterns to get different, well, patterns and shapes. So here we can look at some more triangles with an infill percentage of 15. They have some other ones like the trihexagon, and there's even ways to create custom patterns. But they have a nice list of them. One of the ones I really, really like is gyroid. So gyroid is this volumetric thing. The more kind of height you have, the more 3D-ness and more depth it has. It's this really kind of organic looking pattern, so I tend to use it a lot. One of the things to look out for though when you're playing around with the infill is you want to make sure that your infill density isn't too low. In this case here I dropped it down to 8, and you can see the mounting holes aren't, they don't have enough kind of support going on. So you just want to make sure that whatever mounting holes you have and whatever internal geometry you need to kind of take a look and consider, is it strong enough? In this case, an infill density of 10 worked out really well. But really the trick here is to literally just set your top and bottom layers to 0. That way you can just show the infill. Maybe you've heard about this now, but this is a really good way to create, you know, a type of grill. In this case, it worked out really well for this project because I didn't want to spend a lot of time drawing, you know, all of the cutouts, because I have spent time doing that for various other projects. But it's nice to know. This is a little kind of a technique to put in your back pocket and remember it. Bring it out sometime. So with that, that's one way to do it in your slicer. But if you're looking for a more brain fart. If you're looking for a more generative way to do it, let me show you this new plugin, an update to a plugin in Fusion 360. So this is called the Voronoi Sketch Generator, and this allows you to generate different types of patterns, and there's some built-in shapes like hexagon, stars. You can change the cell count and do different little things. So this is an add-on. You can grab this from the Autodesk App Store. It's a free add-on. You can download this and install it. It is installed through these scripts in add-ons window inside of Fusion 360. So to bring it up, you can use you can type in scripts in your design shortcuts. This is what the window looks like. There's already some pre-installed ones, but once you run through the installer, it'll show up in the add-ins tab. And it's called Voronoi, and you can run it and to install it. Then to use it, it gets added to your create dropdown, or you can just search for it in your design shortcuts by typing in Voronoi, and it shows up. So here in this window, you kind of need to select a profile or a sketch. In this case, I got this this kind of circular sketch with some mounting holes. And what I want to show is like you want to be aware of where your sketch is relative to your grid. In this case, I have it in the center. And when you bring it up, you want to click the Use Profile button, and then you can hit the Voronoi Editor button. This will bring up the window, And right away, here's kind of the thing to know about. Notice that there's nothing showing up. That's because my sketch is in the center origin. So even though there's nothing showing, watch what happens when I publish to Fusion. You'll notice that the shapes do get added, but they're kind of up here away from the thing that I selected. The reason being is because the plugin is looking for a sketch with positive coordinates. What I mean by if you go into the sketch, take a look at the numbers, you notice that there's 4 quadrants. Everything that's to the top right is positive values, so anything in the lower left are negative values. For whatever reason, the plugin is looking for a sketch that has positive coordinates. So what I've done is I just used some sketch dimensions to offset it away from the center origin. So running through the plugin again, you can select your profile, make sure you use profile size, and now in the Voronoi Sketch Editor, you'll see all the cells and everything shows up in the preview. Excellent. So now you can play around with the shell count, the little slider. Super awesome job on like the visual. Like they tend to grow when you're like playing with the slider. That's super cool. There's some other things like the scaling of the shell, and then you have some options like you can export it as an SVG. That's really great if you want to use a vinyl cutter or a laser thingy.
CNC.
And a CNC. And it gets applied to your sketch. Another thing I found here is like, notice how it gets kind of placed right on top of my mounting holes. You just want to be strategic when you're extruding and you're selecting those profiles. You want to make sure they're not being intersected with your holes. So what I found is even better is to just project your geometry in a standalone sketch and then use that projected sketch to apply the Voronoi pattern. That way it's not messing with your core mounting holes. I'm a fan of kind of keeping elements separate in your sketches as opposed to like putting everything in one giant sketch. So really cool. I haven't played with the Voronoi Sketch Generator in a while, and Pedro, shout out to you because you used it in next week's project and it got an update. So I figured I'd share with you folks some of the fun things and maybe not so fun things. It's kind of buggy, right? So, you know, no shade here to the programmer, but it's a really fun add-on to play with in Fusion 360. It's free to do so, so might as well play with it, right?
Yeah, this is a huge update to what it's coming from. Before, there was no UI for this. It was just numbers. You had to like remember what your numbers were when you applied it, because that's the only way you would see it. This is a nice visual. I don't know if you have it here, the way that it animates when you're adding all of the extra, like the padding or the cells or the clipping on the inside or outside. You can see that took an enormous amount of work.
Just be careful, like, and
it can be a little buggy, but I'm sure there's some like OS, like APIs that might mess with it.
But it's a free thing, and you can use the link in the description.
It is a plugin that we were missing, I think sometime in December or January, and they stopped supporting that version for whatever like APIs that changed inside of Fusion. So we're very happy to see it come back with such an enormous update. All those visuals did a really good job of creating all these patterns
This
here.
is actually created with the older version of that plugin, or add-in, as Fusion likes to call it, the add-ins.
And then I used it on the bottom here. This is the star pattern, but I'm just gonna refer this as the Adafruit pattern. It just has an extra leg there, but kind of looks like the Adafruit logo.
Yeah, very, very cool. So I guess we're into, what are you prototyping now? Pedro, what are you prototyping?
Yeah, so last week we showed off Dylan Harada's awesome Jeopardy game. We were showing how we were wiring up all of the components to do the testing. And here is the case that we came up with for enclosing the Circuit Playground Bluefruit and a Stemma speaker.
The Circuit Playground's in there?
Yeah,
There's no way. This is too small for a Circuit Playground.
So this is, of course, all snap fit together and twisty, what do we call it? Screw-on, twisty top.
Yeah,
so there's an arcade button on the top. Let me go reverse or go back. The way that works is you start it off like that. So you can have your contestants or players. You can do, I think, up to 4. We only have 3
I'll take
here.
the purple.
And you'll do your Jeopardy question or whatever. I forget how the game goes. I thought this was, I had the game wrong. I thought it was not Jeopardy.
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, yeah. Until my wife was
vowel.
like, no, that's the wrong thing.
That's the wrong
So
game.
that's the controller or whoever's like hosting will start it off, have it ready to go, and let's try to hit this all at the same time. It'll grab
on one.
It'll display what color gets hit first. So
ready on
snap this.
All right, ready on 1, 3, 2, 1.
Ah, of course
it's
you
purple.
did.
I won. It looks green here in the overhead. Sorry, but that's just the colors.
So you'll hit the arcade button once to clear, and then again to enable the players, contestants, to go again. So let me do it. Ready and go.
Too slow.
Clear it. Start again. Just hit green, just so you can see all of the different colors. All in CircuitPython, so super easy to add more players or to change the colors if you want to use different filament for whatever favorite color in your family. You can pick those and
armed.
Restart it that way.
All right, restart. Armed. Red. All right, restart. Armed. Green. So cool. Really awesome to have NeoPixels built into the Circuit Playground, because hey, that's how we're able to do this. We didn't have to wire up any of the pixels.
So super modular. Everything screws on tight like that. And by modularity, I mean like everything can come apart. Nothing is soldered together in terms of the jumpers or the button.
Yeah, take a look at some of the fun techniques you can do to make it modular for the Circuit Playground, because you got these really big touch pads on the Circuit Playground. So how did you make it so it's modular on these touch pads?
The way that I made this have the ability to just take these jumpers off is I soldered on some short headers onto each of the pads. So all of these can be taken off. You can swipe these around, just plug them back in like that.
So you took a strip of female headers and you cut them up into little individual single units. And then you can solder them through, I guess, the giant pads, and you can make it so they stick upright, and that way you can just plug and play your connections.
Yeah, same thing with the bottom here, the way that the stemma speaker is connected. This can completely all be disconnected as well. Not just the little the JST connection there, the jumpers that it's plugged into, same way.
Everything is a plug. It's so
you can all disconnect it that way. So cool that was built in, because it is a little tricky to set the headers up that way. You got to have some pretty good dexterity to solder those on there, and you got to like hold it in the air to solder that and have it be nice and stable too, because you can kind of see this one is folded over a little bit. Not going to pop off. There's a ton of solder on there, but a little tricky to do, but you can do it, and you can just solder it on there.
Strap onto it if you want. Or alligator clips if you want something modular and you're just prototyping. No. If you're just prototyping and you want to do something that's scaled, you can use alligator clips for sure, and that's what the Circuit Playground is built in to do.
And then, of course, the grill that we were talking about with the Voronoi Sketch Generator just pops in like that. It's not really needed, but you can have some nice design on the bottom there.
Shout out to the stemma speaker. It's a really great accessory for the Circuit Playground. It really gives you that amplifier that you need to get some nice sound effects out of your Circuit Playground projects. So the stemma speaker is a great add-on, and it has that JST port, so you can plug it in, or you can use the pads on the stemma speaker.
And the real cool thing about this that Dylan did was enable the slide switch, the little on and off switch here. So when you switch it towards the Bluetooth icon here, it will enable iOS or any Bluetooth compatible device have this spit out whatever key.
Spit out keys.
So if you are playing, say, the Jeopardy version, the web version on your computer, you can have these set up as different keys to...
For sure, yeah. So you can have this connected wirelessly to a computer or something else that accepts USB HID, maybe an Xbox or something, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we've had had this ability to have the BLE turn on and off with the switch on other projects. I just don't know which ones, but it was super handy for this one, because when we were testing this out, I was sending key commands to the lock screen on my phone, and I almost locked myself out of my phone because of that. So, big ups, hugs to Dylan for enabling that. I don't know what other projects we've done that in, but she was able to enable that feature to easily switch on and off the Bluetooth by just flipping the switch on that. Very, very handy.
Very fun too. I really like this game.
Yeah, super cool build. We will release the guide for this next week. But yeah,
excellent.
It's of course my son is loving this in terms of having to play. He loves Jeopardy, so
Yeah, man.
It was really cool for having
Plus the
that
lights.
set up.
Yeah, buttons and lights. Sound effects, you can't go wrong with that.
And of course, my favorite part about it is just how modular it is.
Yeah, man. Great job on it. And
So yeah,
all the fun techniques here.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the CAD and the way everything's set up next week.
For sure.
All right, moving on to what's next on the list.
Well, what's next on the list is we got
Some more prototyping
We got
stuff.
keycaps, tons and tons of keycaps, right? All right. We got lots of keycaps, lots and lots of keycaps. So last week I showed a little bit about milling keycaps. This week I wanted to take all the knowledge that I learned and put together a layer by layer on setting up the tool paths. So in Fusion 360 I set up some tool paths on milling this out. So kind of start off with doing a facing operation, which gets your material, your stock, to level out to be the desired thickness that you want for your shapes. So I walk through that, and then I also walk through using the adaptive clearing, which I'm fairly new to, and I was able to specify geometry on the inside of the keycap. So I walk through how you can use a machining boundary to just focus on the geometry that you want to adaptively clear out. And then from there, I look at using the 2D contour, which is just a simple way to create out a 2D outline. So I run through that one. And then one of the last things is using a 2D pocket to create the kind of cavity, the little cross cavity for these keycaps, really. So we walk through all that, and I really break down all of the reasons why I'm using these tool paths. So check it out if you're getting started with CNC milling. I might learn a thing or two on how to use the manufacturing workspace in Fusion 360. Cool. And then for extra stuff, I did a little video on milling it. So here is the facing operation. And one of the things I learned here is that you can get rid of some of these artifacts by using a tighter step over. So that's one of the things I walk through as well when I'm setting up the face. And one of the things I learned here, using different materials, this walnut, it almost reminds you of like using PLA versus using a PET G or something, where you want to be aware of your materials. I found walnut is really fibrous, so it kind of has a lot of hairs and stuff going on. And I figured, well, that's because my tool isn't sharp. It's not a new tool, right? Surely that's what the reason. But when I did a second batch, I used cherry wood, and I noticed that it was way cleaner. So just one of the things I learned is like, people that work with wood, they know this, and this is one of the ways I learned, is to just actually use the material. When you're milling it, hey, look at that. Walnut is a little bit more fibrous, therefore it requires a little bit more of a cleanup. So that's something to be aware of, but I really like the look of walnut, and it feels really nice too. So yeah.
So by cleanup, do you mean like using a deburring tool?
You could use a deburring tool, but I just straight up used sandpaper and sanded it all down. And yeah, here, you know, you can use alcohol if you're using tape, and that's why these bits are alcohol. But I don't find that, you know, it affected it or anything, the alcohol. But yeah, just a couple of minutes on sanding each little piece here, and you get these really, really nice finishes. So, man, this is really nice, the material here.
And I just wanted to show a close-up comparing the two. You can see here the fibrousness that you were chatting about.
The fibrousness. Get closer. There you go.
There you go.
So yeah, the kind of more dull-looking one is walnut, and then this one here is the cherry wood. The color is a little bit different here on the overhead, so you're not going to get an exact shade of color, but
so this is the walnut.
That's the walnut.
So you have this nice little texture going on here, and it looks like if it was printed, I'd be like, oh my god, it's under extruded, or here's the layer lines. But if you want that textured look on there, and that dullness. Right. And of course, you can change the color of this by adding the, what did they suggest last week?
Yeah, so the oil,
Not
there's
shellac.
different, there's different oils and stuff. So that's my next thing, is to try out different oils and different finishes. Yeah, that's my next thing to do. This time around, I really just wanted to get the workflow down for like getting the tolerances right. That's why I made several batches of them, so that I can fine tune how do I switch between Fusion and the Bantam Tool software, so that I can quickly iterate on the tolerances. Because this whole batch, all of these keys here, they actually fall right out. It's not tight enough.
So, okay.
Yeah, so I had to make it. So the first time around it was too tight, then it was too loose. Get in the middle, Goldilocks.
So what I'm showing here is just to show that the texture here didn't affect the stem.
Correct.
Like the stability of it. Like, you know, there's no.
It's
like
super
it's not gonna
strong
fall.
this way. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they're super strong.
So the gaps that you're seeing here doesn't affect the structural
Oh,
integrity
yeah,
of
great.
it.
And then, you know, depending on the type of wood, you're going to get different grains. This is a good look at like the different lovely patterns. Again, the theme this show is patterns. Look at these lovely patterns. That one's my favorite right there. These are all cherry. And there you go. Now, you know what? Now they're too freaking tight, right? They're too freaking tight. So just kidding. They're fine. One of them was like really tight. I was like, what the heck, man? First it's too loose, now it's too tight. Here's that older design where it hasn't broken yet. Cherry. And here's the kind of newer design.
Is that one of the characteristics of the cherry? It's supposed to be more harder?
I guess so,
More tougher?
folks. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what? This is the wrong geek. It's this one that has the really tight ones. Sorry. Did I mention I... There we go. It ends up coming off. I don't think the whisk works with these odd shapes, so... These are the reds. So that's the little look at milling. The next thing I'd like to do is a two-part, where I flip the part to do more of your traditional style keycap, like these right here. I'd like to do this out of wood, and I need to learn how to do a jig so that when I flip the part upways, it's like perfectly spaced and centered and secured to whatever the jig is. So that's the thing that I'd like to do sometime in the future.
And if you guys have seen the latest, I think it was last week's Desk of Lady Ada, she was working on some resin casting molds that we will be stocking soon.
Yeah.
So of course we're looking at getting back into the resin printing so we can make some more custom keycaps like we did.
Yeah, maybe we can CNC some custom molds or something.
Oh, that
I'd
too.
like to make this out of wood. I've seen all the different colors and variants of the paw, but I haven't seen a wooden paw yet.
Yeah, I want to resin print the material that this is in, like the what is it, the
the silicone
type stuff.
toe beans.
Yeah, it'd be nice and cool.
Yeah,
So more cool looking back at some old techniques.
excellent.
Oh, and Vince is saying that alternating between the different wood keycaps would be cool. So
That
we
would
have
be
like
cool.
one cherry, one walnut.
Yeah, alternating walnut and cherry.
Yeah.
Lemon flavor.
Susan is saying that doing the two-sided milling is where she lost access to the milling at the workshop. Leave plenty of time for learning curve on that one. Oh yeah, Yanni is suggesting resin on the wooden keycaps. Yeah, that look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lamar was experimenting with putting like glitter and all these different things that you usually put into the
encasing some ICs or something.
or maybe doing that the sea foam thing with the hair dryer, make it look like it's a beach foamy.
Foam.
Yeah, the sea foam.
It's cool.
Lots of cool little tricks you can do there.
All right. So that's a little bit of the layer by layer, and I guess we kind of blended layer by layers and shop talks all in this kind of fun thing.
What
So
else
that's
is
good.
in the shop talk? Checking out the notes here.
I was going to share some links to some other reading material for infill patterns and stuff. So let me pull this up real quick. If you are a fan of the Prusa printers and using the Prusa slicer, there's a nice blog post or a bit of a learn guide on how you can look at different infill patterns, and they just kind of walk through the different patterns and stuff. And yeah, check that out. Just a little bit more reading material if you're really into the infill stuff.
I miss the honeycomb infill.
I do too. The honeycomb infill
What
is
happened?
something that I don't know why CURA doesn't have
What
one,
happened?
but Slicer from Prusa does. So there you go. More options at your Prusa Slicer. So check that out. I got one more link. These are in the description of this video, by the way, if you're on YouTube. I got one more link, and this is a bit of a Thingiverse thing. Do you remember the customizer? If you don't remember the customizer, it's a way to use the OpenSCAD language, programming language, to programmatically design and model 3D parts. So this one is a customizable fan grill cover. And if our internet would behave, here we go. So there's even some more techniques. A different approach is to have some parametric values here in sliders that you can play around with in the customizer. Now, I don't know if customizer works these days. They did in the past. So just the warning out there. Maybe you can use the OpenSCAD download here and use OpenSCAD, the program, on your desktop, as opposed to using the customizer that may or may not work in Thingiverse. Is that okay? Yeah.
So just grabbing the links for all this.
Thanks. Do you want? Yeah, they should be in the shop talk. Scroll down.
Oh no, I already got that.
Okay.
It's the
Wonderful.
boilerplate stuff.
Mm-hmm. Boilerplate stuff. All right. Well, with that, I am ready. Ready to do community makes.
All right.
Let's run the Timelapse Tuesday video then. Every Tuesday, we 3D print and time-lapse it. A design from the community. This week, it's a mini-vise by Handyman.
Very fitting with all of the wood and CNC talk. This is one of the things you wanted to have printed out, so you can have a nice little mini-vise to hold things while you're cutting.
Yeah, this was a suggestion by Liz, by the way. She printed one out and was like, "Hey, you should take a look at this."
This is very,
very
nice.
nice. Yeah. Mini-vise.
So this takes quite a while to print, but you are left with this awesome vise that you can screw into your work surface and have, in this case, little small pieces of wood to hold on to if you're going to cut, or if you're going to like hand engrave or something with like a Dremel.
Oops.
This is very nice. So yeah, you have this nice little screw-in feature, and there are these nice like infill type textures on it to grip onto the wood. As you can see here,
it's that infill pattern, man.
Yeah, right. You got like this grip going on here on both sides. So like that side of it, so you can see the texture that they have on there.
Yeah, this is a bit of an emboss, and then this is a deboss. So they kind of
going
clinch together. Yeah, very, very cool. Great design. Let's take a look at it on the Colts 3D website. Oh boy, I had it and then it didn't. During the show, I noticed that there's always a lag in the Google Docs, which is very bizarre.
So the sliding mechanism is a print-in-place part. So this part and this prints together.
Nice.
And it just slides across like that.
That's all right.
So
you got mounting holes over there, so if you want to secure it to your work surface, your spoiler board, you can do so with those mounting holes.
Yeah, and this wasn't... this attached part wasn't working until now, which is super cool. I didn't realize that you can just go, screw it in and out. Yeah, that's
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so
it would kind of bring it out too.
Yeah, so this piece prints separate. That, and a nice little way to have a twisty part on there. And here's the part that I was saying that prints in place. It just slides across.
Nice rails.
Nice
now,
rails.
one note about materials. This is beautiful filament, but not necessarily the most strongest filament. This is our second print. The first one I actually used to secure my shop vac hose. I broke it.
Yeah, so it's a combination of the silky stuff. The silky PLA filament is not the strongest, and I used a pretty low infill on this. So there you go.
And you could increase the shell count as well.
Yep, so multiply all those things together.
I would recommend PETG. Maybe try some PETG.
That is what
it's just color choices are limited with PETG sometimes. Yeah. So great choice though on the collars. Just be careful on using material. That's all. All right, so this is
I printed it too fast.
Right, yeah, and when you're time lapsing, you kind of get some under extrusion a little bit every now and then. So shout out to Handyman for posting this design. It is a free download. You can check it out. Beautiful photo. I like the color scheme. Very, very nice, orange and this kind of teal green. But yeah, shout out to Handyman. Is it Handyman? I hope it's Handyman. Is it? Yes, Handyman with the 3. Excellent. So that's where you can get the very cool mini-vise.
And then if we head over to the Discord, Mr. Certainly Bruce is posting his favorite vices to use the Dremel.
Yes, yes. Excellent. I will check these out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
I'm
Liz
lost in
is saying
his
it's
link.
good for the small woodworking project. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And she uses it for sanding weird angles. Yeah, it's a good use case of it. Yeah,
Look at this one.
I think
Clamps
it
onto it.
works good for things like the shop hose. Like if you have to, say you want to sand something, you just want to prop up your
Yeah.
hose for your shop vac. That's what I used it for. I just propped it up at a weird angle and I sanded it away, and there you go.
This is,
Like if you're cutting a PCB FR4, that's some nasty fiberglass. So having so you want to cut a little piece off. Oh, that's a great vice there.
Yeah, check out the link that Bruce posted in the Discord. It is the rotary multi-tool vise. It looks like it hooks onto the side of your workbench too.
Yeah, let's try this out. Is this,
Awesome.
which one? There's two.
The second link.
The second link, okay. I can't get the link
This is
to
awesome.
load.
That's fine. We have it here.
Okay.
Posted there.
I don't know. I wasn't clicking for some weird reason. All right. Well, super cool. Thanks, Bruce, for the recommendation. Nice. Yeah.
Are we missing one of the shop top things? The USB-C cable with switch, or is that?
That's from a
another
couple
time?
weeks ago. I don't have it set up. It's just a cable with a switch. We do have something. What the heck was it? Yoich. I guess the rest of the community makes then, shall we? All right, let's finish up the rest of the community makes this week. We got a
We
really,
have
really
an
cool one.
update from Stuart on his awesome multi-pass remix. This thing is so cool.
Yeah, I want to pull up a tweet from him. Because right now I have no visuals, right? Like, how am I going to... Oh, boy. I'm just going to have to show the GitHub. So shout out to Stuart Riggs for posting up his files and a little bit of documentation and code on the multi-pass remix that he put together.
So this is for holding your vaccination card.
Yes.
If you want to get all fancy on the little holder for it, he has all these awesome LEDs on it, and I think I even saw a version that had an e-ink display.
Yeah, it's a good mix of 3D printing and laser cut, acrylic as well. There's a lot of mix in there, which is really cool. So shout out to Stuart for his make. I'd share the tweet, but I will slow down my computer if I roll it up. So here's what the thing now. Okay, so I do want to shout out level 2.3 on. Okay, so let me step back a little bit. The vaccine multipass thing was originally uploaded by level 2.3 Scotland. It's a remix and it was on Thingiverse. Some things happened. It's no longer on Thingiverse, but it is on Prusa Printer's website. So we went ahead and updated the time-lapse video link, and I guess we're talking about it here, so you can check out the the remixed version of the multipass holder. The original multipass holder is still on Thingiverse, but this is a remix, and now there's a remix of a remix of a remix. That's how things work. But we didn't design this. I'm just saying, like, Scotland level 2.3 is the remixer of this one. So check it out if you're looking for the STLs and you're like, where did it go? Things happen with Thingiverse, but it's here on Prusa Printer's site, so you can check it out. I just wanted to throw it out there.
By things happen, I want to clarify that sometimes when we post project STLs on Thingiverse, they get ghosted from our profile. You can only get to it by directly linking to it, which would be in the Learn guide.
The site, the Thingiverse site has some things going on.
Yeah.
So as a backup, it's really nice to have a site like Prusa Printers, Colts 3D, those two. My Mini Factory, I think. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Stuart again and level 2.3 for the remix. All right. We got some other community makes this week. Here we go. This next one here is the retro cases for the Pi portals.
Hey.
Sweet. So this was posted up by Tolkien Fan. It says, great design, easy to print and assemble. Just a bit too large for my price mini select. I had to use the Ender 3. Thanks, Adafruit. Well, you're very welcome. Awesome. It's really good to see. And this looks like it's the Pi Portal quotes.
Nice.
Very, very nice. Gratitude is the art of seeing a gift. Yeah, and everything. Very cool case. If you guys have a Pi Portal and you want it to look like that, check out the retro cases that we have. Very fun. Snap fit, no supports. Okay, next up. This is a Pi Badge thermal camera by Good Eater. Posted this up. Thanks Adafruit and the Rees Brothers for a fun project. Printed on a Cetus 3D. Excellent. So if you're looking to make, if you'd like to make a thermal camera, you can make one with a Pi Badge and an MLX, whatever, MLX 8833?
That sounds right.
Or is it the AMG 8833? I don't know.
I think it's the AMG.
That's why there's a learn guide. Excellent. Thank you, Goodyear, for posting your make. And we're wrapping up here with 2 more. This one is a remix of not that. Oh boy, links are hard to copy. Man, it really is laggy. It's funny how laggy it is in Google Docs. All right, shout out to MJG157 for posting up their remix of our Keyblade prop. This didn't fit on small printers, so they went ahead and split it up to fit the smaller printers. So this will fit the baby printers, which is great. I really like it when folks in the community make it upon themselves to make this thing work. So that's really cool to see. So shout out. All right, and then the last one is a cute one. Here we go. This is a little bit of a planter. Maybe you like plants. It's summertime. Here's a little boo planter. Fun. Printed on the Cruelty Ender 3. It's a really nice one. So shout out to SunCloud for posting their make of this lovely Mario Boo.
Did they remix the
eyebrows? Look a little bit different than your eyebrows. Yeah.
Looks like it's more worried.
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
I kind of like it.
I kind of like it too. Huh. Cool. Great little fun project to print and plant.
And it scales up very well.
It does. We printed a big one. I put it on my head. Thank you, everybody, for posting your community makes. We really appreciate it. And we hope you're feeling a little bit inspired. A lot of inspired. So.
Definitely inspires us when we see the remixes of them. So
for sure.
Thank you all for tagging.
Yeah. I think I do have one last shop talk. I just remembered it. Because I see here that the GitHub parts, our GitHub parts.
You got some new parts this week.
Yes and no. Mainly, I just want to say mainly, I changed the branch from master to main because you should do that, and I did it. It was really simple and easy to do so. So if you have a fork or something like that, you can update your branch so that it's main.
Yeah, you can. PT posted a blog post about this. Dylan had a very big hand in switching a lot of things over to main.
Yeah, so
huge shout outs.
Yeah, so if you got yourself a repo.
Triggered a nice little landslide of everybody else joining in on that.
So please, I encourage you, I implore you,
update your language.
Update your branch. Thank you. All right, well that's gonna do it for the show. I think we made it. Yay. So if anyone has any last comments, we'll close up the show with reminding you that tonight is a coupon code. Fill up your cart and you get 10% off. On Ask an Engineer, there's a special coupon code, so we hope you're there and use it. We also inspired to, oh God, come on, help me out here. We want to see you on the show and tell, so come in, you're invited. It is every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can hang out in the Discord chat room, and PT will post up his StreamYard link, and you can join in and share your stuff with the community. How's that?
And then tomorrow continues with the live shows with John Park's Workshop. Tune in. He's got some updates to some of the keyboard project that's been going on. And then following, Scott's off for 2 weeks, I think.
So we'll see Scott next 2 weeks.
Yeah, deep dive.
Yeah.
Click on the graphic at least.
Yeah. Yeah, so deep dive to Scott's normally Friday. So catch up on his live streams if you haven't. You can always watch a playback on the playlist.
Yeah, JP was a guest.
That's right.
Last week, so definitely watch the replay of that.
Yeah.
And then on Sundays we have a Desk of Lady Ada, where she does the prototypes that she's working on, a little behind the scenes of what's going on at Adafruit, and some great searches on DigiKey. Some of the components that are used in all the products, how to easily find those. Weed through all of the other ones to get the best fit for your project. And then we start the week off again with JP's product pick of the week. Yep, another show that has the coupons in there. I think it's 50% off only during the show.
That's right.
And it is played live on the product page, so definitely tune in for that. Save a ton on all the new products that come out.
For sure.
You've been watching 3D Hangouts every Wednesday.
At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, normally. All right. And then we hope to see you tonight on Show and Tell. We invite you, and we'll be there, I think. Yeah, we'll be there. Cool. Well,
I think that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all for joining. Good luck on all your maker endeavors. And don't forget to make a great day. See you later tonight.
Bye, everybody.